Alright, welcome back to Oxygen Not Included. So this is sort of a base tour slash informational video on my stream world that I've been playing on twitch.tv slash Captain Calavera. So go ahead and click that link below the video to join me on the live streams. So this is getting an old world, cycle 217. I just wanted to show what I've done, what's better with this than my other worlds, and show off the narcoleptic strategy. So I wanted to get this done before this world crashes and burns, because this is getting really laggy as it is right now. So basically, I don't know where to start really, because there's so much going on. Let's start with the narcoleptics. I got 12 people in my colony. All of them have the narcoleptic trait, so that means they sleep randomly throughout the day. Let's see if we can click one here. So if you check their stats and their stress, well, I can't show it now because they have to actually do the sleep before it shows up. So yeah, that's narcoleptics. So everyone is narcoleptic. So they have a trait when they sleep during the day that's called narcoleptic sleep. That removes 0.03% of stress per second. And that negates pretty much every stress there is in the game. If they step in contaminated water, they lose stress by 0.03. But if they have the narcoleptic sleep buff, we negate that, so they won't lose any stress levels. So most of the time, they will be losing stress. Only if they have two debuffs on them. So for example, sore back and what else? Stepping in contaminated water. That's gonna make them stress. But pretty much they are stress-free throughout their lives because of that. And you can also build their beds in walled-off areas. So you need to have them beds, but wall the beds off. And once they slept their first narcoleptic sleep after you load up the game, they won't be sleeping during nighttime. So they'll keep working even if it's nighttime. So it's a really good way to keep stress levels low and to keep them working, so you won't lose any time when it's nighttime and they usually go to bed. So that's pretty neat. So give that a go. All narcoleptics, if they have strength, that's a bonus. If they have the diver's lungs, that's a bonus as well, because they'll lose less oxygen. But the most important one for this build is narcoleptic. They need to be that. So other than that, beds are blocked off. I got my food system up here. This is enough food to sustain my 12 duplicates without ever having to harvest it. So this is enough food, so they turn like this, and then eventually the food will drop down on the floor, so I never have to manually harvest this. So that's pretty neat. I got a cooling system here. I got two vents coming from this pump right here and that pump right down here. I actually seem to have broke that one, so let's go ahead and fix that. No, it's not broke. Why? I'm just not producing enough power. I did build a bunch of extra things, so I might not be producing enough power for that to actually... No, actually, I built a switch here, so I turned that off manually. So never mind about that. But I have air coming from this guy, and that goes through one of the coolers right here. So this goes down here into the last cooler and then up here. And this guy, since this is getting air from these machines, this air is very hot. So that goes here, and then it goes through all three of the machines before ending up in here. So that keeps the temperature at a good rate, and it also keeps pressure in this room for the plants to be happy. I got random storage a little bit everywhere because I've got so much crap coming up. I built a med bay. You don't need a med bay, but I wanted to build one anyways. I got my coal generators over here, so you don't have to run at all. Four coal generators is enough to charge all of my batteries and keep the base running. So that's pretty much what you need. I did build some things last time that might wreck that a little bit, but that's fine. Down here we got two of these guys. They're on the same tile, so you can't see both of them, but there is two of them. You can see that when I hover, there's hatch and there's hatch. So they live down here. I have another cooling system over here, so I can pump CO2 into their little den and cool them down a little bit from time to time. Basically what I do is I put minerals in these storage compactors, and they eat it and turn it into coal. So I gain a little bit of coal every day, and since they don't have any dirt or anything natural to burrow down into in the nighttime, they keep turning minerals into coal even during daytime, so they keep working non-stop. I got my water supply over here. I got a crap ton of water. I basically drained... where did I drain? I drained a bunch of water from here. I had a bunch of water... I used to have a bunch of water all the way down here and down here. And I drained a bunch of water from over here. So I drained a lot of contaminated water. I pumped it through these two guys, used a lot of sand and drained it in here. And I also have a system where any backlog water flows back into my draining. So this one pump is pumping this thing up here through my shower and toilet systems, and then the excess water goes back into the pool to avoid losing water. It also pumps up into my electrolyzers, and the same thing here. It goes back down and into the pool, and then I had the contaminated water going through one water purifier and back into the pool. So I try to get as much water back into the pool as possible, and that makes this drain much slower. You can't measure this because they can't reach the water, but I have about 1 ton of water per tile, so there's about 200 tons of water in this area. 3 tile thick walls to keep them from not breaking. So that's a good thing as well. I am running out of sand slowly because all the sand I'm using, I stopped using sand to purify water because I have so much. So I'm using the last of my sand to purify the water that comes from my shower and toilet system. I haven't used any air deodorizers in this run, and I'm gonna stick with my 12 duplicants. The only exception is if I get like an 8 strength Narcoleptic dupe, then I'm gonna swap him out. But for now I'm just gonna reject everyone. I am getting a little bit of stress because they're working a lot up here, because I did a lot of mining up here in the world, and getting a lot of slime, slime, algae and coal. So there's a lot for them to get up in this area, so that's why they're kind of stressing out, because they're working in hazardous environments at the moment. That's fine, I can easily manage that with my little massage tables. So I've done a lot on mining. We got to the top of the world over here in the corner, so you can see the top line here and the right line over here. There's no void outside of this area anymore. They removed that in one of the patches. So there's just neotronium, I think it's called. Yeah, neotronium. The entire map is covered by that on the edges. I did find one tile of void. I think it was over here. But that sucked in gases and then it disappears. So whenever the void fills with gas, it disappears. So not really a long-term use for that. I do have more water up here. I have a bunch of water over here as well that I could get down. And I could start steaming water to get more, but I have so much and I won't use it before the next patch. So there's no point in really starting to steam water right now. But I could if I wanted to, but I'm not gonna. What else? Yeah, I'm using these for food storage. I'm getting so much food, so I don't have to worry about cooling the food down or anything like that. Got my showers, got my toilets, and I have my hand sanitizer over here. And then I have my triple massage tables, of course. So I'm actually gonna put a few guys on there. So Anonymous, Drac, and Fluffy, the top 3. Anonymous, Fluffy, and see, Drac. There we go. So I'm gonna put you on there. Got a little dining area here between the food stuff. These are all full with coal, and this is where I'll keep my slime. So this turns the slime into water and what's it called? Algae. And that drains in with this pipe and gets purified and pushed back down into the pool of water. So yeah, about the trait. So now they have the narcoleptic sleep. So they get a stamina change, plus 3%. I think that's pretty much the entire day. And they also get the stress change minus 0.03% per second. And as I said, that negates most negative stress items. So if you have a look on Anonymous, where did I put you? Fluffy, Anonymous, that's you. So you got some stress. Relaxing, give stress, and yeah, I can't really tell right now because he hasn't had a narcoleptic sleep. And he's not stressed anymore because of the reasons he was up here. Probably because of contaminated air. There's probably some contaminated water he stepped in. So there's a few things like that. But they're getting all that done. So once they sweep all of this up, I could speed this up by putting some storage containers and making them grab bigger piles of stuff when they bring it back down. But they'll get it done over time, so I don't really worry about that. Also, I set up an experimental. I think that covers the base, by the way. That's pretty much the base. Oh yeah, I was gonna swap. I'm gonna swap these out to these guys because I got plenty of algae right now. I got 70,000 algae, so I'm gonna swap these guys out for only these guys eventually, because these guys eat water, and I do want to keep my water for showers and toilets instead, because I like to keep my dupes happy. And that's one of my main goals when I play this game, is that the dupes needs to be happy. I don't want to do a puke colony where I get water and oxygen from puke and contaminated oxygen. I want to have happy dupes as much as possible. So I am gonna swap these out eventually once this drains a little bit more, and then I'll swap it for these guys, use my algae, mine for more algae, and stuff like that. Let me see if yeah, these are on priority 9, so that should be good. They're probably not start running because the batteries are full, so they're gonna fill it once the batteries drain and make them work again. But yeah, I did some experiments down here, but they died, so that experiment failed. I had 2 puffs in here, but it apparently got too cold and they died. So the experiment was that I wanted to kill a duplicate in here. I wanted to build this in sort of a square block, kill a duplicate, have some orbs on the bottom, and then some puffs, turning that into oxygen, and then I was gonna try and pump that oxygen back to base. There was only 2 of them. They weren't producing a lot of oxygen at all, and now they died, so that experiment is a bust. I haven't dug down, so there's more water down here. And there's probably magma somewhere, but as I said, there's no need to make steam, because steam and sand and water issues is gonna get fixed in the next patch. That's gonna happen tomorrow if you're watching this video. Today, I don't know when I'm gonna upload it, but yeah, on the 15th is the next update. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I've been digging a little bit down here, but not too much. But this is running super stable right now. 6% stress, no one is on the massage tables, everyone is up and gathering materials, food is endless. So yeah, this can pretty much run until I run out of this water like it is. The only thing I need to do is I need to pump some CO2 in here from time to time to cool this down. And I need to pump some cool air into here from time to time to cool this down and keep the air pressure good. So, you know, whenever these starts to overheat or feel bad because of air pressure, I just turn this on and everything is happy. Also, I'm gonna, because you can see the hydrogen is building up and I don't need any air right now, so I'm gonna probably filter out some hydrogen into a hydrogen generator. Not that I need to, but I need to get rid of the hydrogen from time to time. I could just pump that in here and increase the pressure as well. So what I do is I just enable this building, and someone's gonna go and do that for me. And that is going to start pumping gas through here. I filter out the oxygen back into the base. The hydrogen goes through one cooler. It cools it down to, let's see, content 14 degrees, which is pretty perfect. So it cools it down to 14 degrees. And then it pumps it all the way up here. If it gets any oxygen, I'll just pump it back into the base. Goes up here, one goes in there, and the other one goes in here. So easy way to get rid of my hydrogen. Doesn't matter if there's hydrogen in here. The plants can survive in any type of gas. as long as it's the right pressure and the right temperature. So, and I don't need the hydrogen to get energy. I get plenty of energy from my coal generators. So this cools everything down. Temperature is nice and cool. This is 16 degrees. They can't go below 10, and I think they can't go above 30-ish or 27 or something like that. So 14 is quite perfect actually. So this is gonna run, suck up this hydrogen, keep my base clean. We won't have any hydrogen eventually because we're gonna swap to these guys, but the pressure in here is gonna be high enough to pump pure oxygen up into these guys instead. So oh, sorry about the cough. So yeah, that's the base. Narcoleptics is the way to go, and swapping from water and go back to algae once you get a stockpile of algae, and go to coal generators once you get a stockpile of coal generators. If you want to run this for 1,000 days, 1,500, 2,000, you have to do the manual generators, because you're gonna run out of coal eventually, and you have to steam water to get more water, because you're gonna run out of algae as well eventually. It's gonna take a long time, so it's not sustainable endlessly, but it's sustainable for a very long time as it is. So I've been saying a lot that you can't make sustainable bases, but this is as close as sustainable you can get, and still have happy duplicants. You can run with contaminated oxygen and dirty water and stuff like that, but that's no fun to me. I want to have happy dupes. That's very important to me. So happy duplicants, not endless, but a very long playthrough, if you feel like that. The only thing left to do is basically keep mining, getting more coal, getting more algae, keep the water, destroy the electrolyzers eventually, swap that to these guys, and use the algae for oxygen instead, and life will be perfect pretty much. And if you can get more of these guys, you can get your coal from this, so coal could be endless for you. I think 2 of these guys is enough to sustain at least 1 coal generator. So if you get 8 of these guys, kind of hard to get them. I had 3 on this map in total, so with those 3 I could probably support 2 coal generators endlessly. So yeah, that's totally a thing you could do as well. If you get enough hatches and keep them happy, you should be good on that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you like the base tour. This is probably gonna crash eventually, because this game is getting very laggy on my PC with this many days and this much stuff going on in the world. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I hope you like it. I'm gonna reject this duplicant because I don't want anymore. Reject all. There we go. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you liked the base. I hope you got some good ideas. The Narcoleptic strat is really good. Use that one. And I hope you got some neat ideas from the rest of the stuff that I showed as well. So you can play your game for longer, because longer games are fun. It's fun to start new games as well, but it's nice to be able to run a long game. So yeah, thanks again. See you guys next time. Update on the 15th. That's gonna be fun. See you guys then. Have a good one. Bye bye.